if I just closed with a buyer, I'll like take a little video. I'll be like, hey, are you guys cool with being in a video? Hey, how was the experience? And that kind of thing. So as much as I'm a perfectionist, the best thing to do is be really casual about it.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a quote. It's like, perfectionism is the enemy of progression or something like that. Because you can't move forward if you're stuck trying to make this thing perfect. Right. 90% of the business is done by like 10% of the agents or something like that.
Yeah, right.
Some statistic like that. Because a lot of the people that get into it looks flashy and fun. It's hard.
Yeah.
It sucks. It's hours of like grueling work and like building a book, cold calling, doing the stuff that people don't want to do, door knocking, being kind of annoying. Like you start to like be the guy that's like, hey, like, you just bought a house or you sell a house, you know, like you have to kind of be that guy. You have to insert yourself and you have to be like structured.
All right, so we're starting the podcast, Innovation Illuminated. We're going to just do a raw, uncut conversation. Cool. We haven't met much, and we're just going to talk about everything, real estate, friendship, cars, whatever we want to talk about. Cool. So what's up, dude? Let's get it.
Man, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm down.
Let's start with kind of, we were just talking before the podcast on prioritizing different tasks and kind of like finding one thing to stick with instead of chasing like a bunch of rabbits at once.
Yeah. So I'd say that's probably been always my hardest thing. Like I try to be as focused as I can, but man, there's just so much going on. It's like distractions are everywhere. It was like one of the number one things my mentor used to say with me was like, you are great at what you do, but you just need to be focused. And I'd always be like everywhere, but focusing on one thing has always been a big challenge for me. So it's been going through those like hoops and those hurdles to get to a point where I'm like, okay, I don't want that to happen again. So now I have to prioritize focusing.
And I almost think that like having a bunch of tasks, like I feel like I thrive off that, like where it's almost like a rush where you're just going thing. Yeah. But then you can't give one thing your all.
Right.
Where did you kind of find like giving one thing your all and being satisfied with it instead of doing that like running around, like I said?
Yeah, I think shiny object syndrome is like something that a lot of us, I'd say like younger guys in business deal with because there's just so much going on. There's so many different things to do. It's all the stuff that we see other guys doing, you know. So I guess the moment where I was like, okay, like real estate is that's my priority. That's my focus that's my moneymaker. Like, I think I've always kind of known that was like what it's all about. And that's what I got into this for. And so it's like, why would I, you know, I'm going to get to a spot where I'm comfortable enough, you know, money wise and everything wise to be able to do all these other things and all these other ideas, but they all have to be real estate related and they all have to make sense. But I guess the moment where I realized, to answer your question, was I like had a crazy 2023 and like learned so much through that and lost a lot through that. You know, I had really cool things going on, but it was all the flash. And at the end of the day, I was like, man, I'm sitting here, I'm like, 2023 sucked. You know, and I was like, okay, like if I would have focused on this one thing, I would have been like, 2023 was the best year, you know. But it sucked because of that, but it was also great because I learned so much from that.
Right.
So, you know.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, I feel like there's so many people that have passions that they like a little thing, like you said, maybe like the run club, like we were just talking about, like it's a passion thing, like you like doing it, but at the same time, it's not making you money.
Right.
So it's not like at that forefront. Was the forefront of like picking that one thing money-wise for you?
Money is a big driver, right? I mean, but at the end of the day, like everything's about incentive, you know. I mean, something might not be driven by money. Like if you look at Run Club, for example, that's driven by the connections. Like we wouldn't be here today without Run Club, right?
Right, yeah.
Like, sure, maybe I would have messaged you or you would have messaged me at one point. There's a chance the connection would have happened, but Run Club made it quicker. They set up the appointment, right?
Yeah.
So it was like our ability to meet, there was incentive behind being part of the Run Club. So I think something like being part of those groups and clubs is very valuable, even if it isn't money driven or money focused.
Right.
But obviously, like at the end of the day, we all have bills and we all want to do more and we want to invest, and money is kind of the way to do that.
Yeah, it's the driving factor. Yeah,
so.
at my point in my life, it's like I got making money here, making money here, making money here. but one's making the most money, but then like the other stuff's still fun, like that not making all the money.
Yeah.
And then there's some stuff that makes no money, like the podcast we're doing
Yeah.
right now. That takes a bunch of time. The editing is like a ton and stuff, but it's
Yeah.
still fun to like meet people and stuff. But at the same time, prioritizing, yeah, I see where you say like making money, like I prioritize a surf lesson over lawn mowing because it's just gonna make
Yeah.
me more money.
Right.
Like
Right.
even if it's out of my way, like I'll do it over that because it just makes a little bit more money,
Yeah.
which is interesting. But at the same time, you want to be able to do not just one thing because I feel like it gets boring and you get burnt out
Yeah.
from that one thing.
Oh yeah. I mean, if it's your passion, you really love it. You're in such a niche area with
Right.
surfing.
Yeah.
Like, the most I know about surfing is because I'm from Port Washington, and if you go a
Okay.
little north, apparently Sheboygan is like, what do they call that? Like some
You
about
can surf
surfing.
in Lake Michigan, like
Yeah,
wave
yeah,
surfing. Yeah.
But Sheboygan's like the surfing capital of like
The
the
Midwest.
Midwest.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah. And so that's like the most I know about surfing, but it's so niche,
Yeah.
and you don't like expect there to be that many surfers in Wisconsin, but I'm sure there are more than we think, right?
Right. Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
and there's a lot of people that just see it and want to get into it, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
And just
yeah,
try
yeah.
it. Well, let's get into like how we got started, kind of in our stuff. How'd you
Cool.
get started with real estate?
Yeah, I got into it right out of high school. Actually, in high school, I was still kind of doing some real estate stuff. So,
Okay.
wide-eyed, small town, because I'm from Port Washington, Wisconsin. It's a little bit north of Milwaukee, about 25 minutes. And going to Port High School, you actually get like a work release. So I don't know if did you guys have that?
Yeah, I did that in high school as well. Yeah.
What high school did you go to?
Sussex Hamilton.
So you're at Sussex. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get like a work release. And I was always like a big performer guy. Like I was in choir, I sing, play guitar, stuff like that. And I was actually part of an a cappella group. I wasn't mature enough to be in that a cappella group because there's a lot of professional people.
Okay.
And so I learned a lot from that. But my sophomore year I was in it, it was traveling. It was like a really big deal actually for our school. It was a whole class out of the day. So it was just like 16 of us. Learned a lot from that. And then going into junior year, I didn't make it because I wasn't mature enough to be back into it. And so then I had that work release because I wasn't able to do the work release if I was part of that group.
Okay.
So then it kind of like it was a blessing and a curse because I was like bummed that I didn't make it.
Yeah.
But now I can prioritize like making money, and I was working at Best Buy at the time. That was my first sales job. So, I learned how to sell computers and credit cards to people who should not have credit cards.
Yeah.
It was like a big thing. And, but going through that whole thing, I realized like I can combine being like a performer and like really honing in on that stuff while marketing and sales is like at the forefront. So, because I think like some of the most successful sales guys like know psychology, of course, and they know how to perform. They know how to put on a show.
Yeah.
Because like part of purchasing things, like you want to feel good and you want to like be a part of that like organization, right?
Right.
Like why do we buy Aloe and Lululemon? It's because we like want to be like there.
Yeah.
We want to
That
be
image.
there in that niche, right?
Mhm.
So that's kind of what got me started on like the sales side of things. I got started into real estate because I was into like stocks and stuff like that, but I knew I didn't want to go to college, and I figured if I'm going to do stocks, I have to go to college. I lost a lot of money, and like I was 17 with a custodian account,
Okay.
And then let's see, from there, I left Best Buy to work at a small real estate office. I was just really persistent. Like that was the number one thing. I was super persistent, and I got an intern job. They made the position for me. They were like, he's just like a small town, kid. I'm like
Yeah.
17, driving around a beat Acura MDX, and they got me like running coffees and like putting sign riders up, and just like the little things, and digitizing fax from the basement. That was. I had to like go down in this creepy basement, like pull these physical files out and scan them into a computer. Like that was like my whole job. So I'd leave school, do that. And then from there, I turned 18. I got my real estate license right away.
Okay.
The guys I was working for, they're super prominent in Port Washington. They do amazing work, but a lot of the properties that they're doing are more like north, like Fredonia, or they're in Port Washington, a little more small town.
Okay.
I knew I wanted to do like luxury, like River Hills, Fox Point, all of that. So when I was telling them that, they said, you're going to want to talk to this guy. His name is Scott Campbell. We had another office in Cedarburg. I found Scott's card. I emailed him, and I still have the email to this day. It's titled Real Estate Future. And it just goes in depth. Like, I wasn't even like selling yet. I'm 18 years old, but I already had like content that I was making because I saw like Ryan Serhant doing it. I saw Graham Stephan and these other guys.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what got me into the side of like, I can perform and sell real estate. Like, this is the best way to go for me because I don't want to go to college. I can sell real estate and like be this performer because like
Right.
that's just me at heart. So I guess like from there, I reached out to Scott. We sat down for like 2 hours at a coffee shop in Grafton. He invites me out to a $1.8 million listing, keeping in mind that I come from a lower middle class, maybe like upper poor family where we
Okay.
were like just scraping by. And he picks me up in a Range Rover. And I'm like, dude, like never even like seen one of these or knew what I was looking at if I
Yeah.
did. And then I, go inside of it. It's like crazy. So we go to this house doing drone videos, all of that drone photos, and the house is incredible. It was in Germantown. It was a equestrian farm, and it was like Italian chateau style or French chateau style. Beautiful house. And then after we're done taking those photos and videos, he's like, "Hey, I go to Chicago, every now and then because I'm from there. Do you want to tag along and go to Chicago?" Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. So we go out to Chicago, eat a really nice dinner, all of that. Basically, what I'm getting at is Scott taught me like the good realtor life. And we can go into that more, but tell me more about what got you started.
Yeah, kind of what got me started is pretty much just a passion turning into business
Yeah.
with the surfing. So lawn mowing, I was just doing like neighborhood stuff, and eventually just turned into my dad was like, "Hey, you should just start getting more clients and stuff like that."
Yeah.
So we got a new lawnmower. We already had pretty much all the equipment. We had trimmer, blower, mower, trailer, like everything I needed. So pretty much all of it was, I guess, handed to me if you'd say that. Like I had everything to start the business, which was so nice. So it was just going out and getting those clients.
And I want to comment on that because you said it's like handed to you. Like, I don't know if you come from a wealthy family or not. I
That's
don't know.
the middle class, yeah.
Middle class. Okay. So like some people might look at that and say, "Oh, it's handed to you." Like,
Yeah.
And I'd love to touch on this because I think this is a cool topic too. But you just utilize what you had. Like,
Right.
it was just in front of you, and you took the step to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's just something to say about. Some people will be like upset, like, "Oh, well, he started it
Yeah,
because
totally.
this or that." It's just an
Yeah.
interesting topic. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, no, I agree because I've had people that are like, dude, like you had so much like stuff already that
Yeah.
it was just handed to you kind of thing. But yeah, you got to go out and take that step, and like it's
Yeah.
not gonna grow from doing nothing.
Yeah.
Like from doing bad work or not hustling and like
It's still
doing good
you
work.
still worked really hard to get there.
Right, exactly. So yeah, for the lawn mowing, I had all the stuff, and then I bought an enclosed trailer and put it in that, and then just grew it pretty much from. I had my subdivision, then like a few friends, and then a lot of it actually grew from surfing. So I'll get into that a little bit.
Yeah.
So the surf lessons business, it was like a passion. We had a boat growing up. We water skied, wakeboarded
Okay.
stuff. And then me convincing my dad to get a new boat was that I would start a business out of it.
Yeah.
And then so we partnered with Skipper Buds, so they kind of like hooked us up with a discount on a new boat and got into that. And the first year I probably did like 2 lessons, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like all summer, like nothing. And I was doing like the website, Instagram, like I was trying to do everything I could. And then second year was a little better. Third year is even better. And now it's like I feel like there's like at least 3 to 4 like consistent ones per
like
week.
recurring clientele.
Yeah, and the price point's a lot higher now because it's like more luxurious of a service. But I've had cool people. We've done one for like Craig Council,
That's awesome.
a few other people, yeah. And I was actually at their place last night. I had to drop a board off. They bought one
Yeah,
from me.
that's
but
really cool.
yeah, pretty funny. And yeah, that just was like a passion that I turned into a business kind of thing. And from that, I would meet a lot of people that lived on the lake that had these big luxury homes. And I was like, "Hey, I own a lawn mowing business. Like, could I
Yeah.
give you a quote or whatever?" And they're like, "Yeah, for sure." And I feel like a lot of the clients like that I have are my friends to where like they don't complain about like anything I do. Like they're
Yeah.
just like hands off, like you do you and just get it done. And like I just love that because they're friends on the lake. Like I can surf with them. And then like business during the day, like I'm out there mowing and like taking care of their lawn, which is super cool. And then a third business that I started during COVID was like this hair clipper guard I invented. I don't know if you've seen that, but
I might have. I feel like I
Okay.
have kind of seen it around.
yeah. So during COVID, I needed like a haircut, and so my mom was trying to do like the fade by like switching out guards. You go like
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4 guard, like blending it. And I thought like there's got to be a better way to do it. Like there's no product out there. Like barbers are taking an hour to do a haircut with switching out the
Yeah.
guards. So I bought a 3D printer, designed like it in software. So it was one guard that could like slide back and forth. So you could like
Okay.
go from like a 0 like bald fade to like 3 guard
Mhm.
just by like sliding your finger. So I did that, like 3D printed a bunch of prototypes, got it like a patented, injection molded, then
Wow.
started a business, Instagram, TikTok, stuff like that,
Yeah.
and did a Kickstarter, which was successful, which is cool. But through that, like I don't do it too much anymore because I kind of don't believe in the product much anymore.
Yeah, that's happened
Yeah.
to me. Where
Yeah.
it's like I can sell something that I believe in. Like
Yeah,
at the-
exactly.
At my heart, it's like, and some people will look at sales guys like they're all terrible, they're all this and that. It's like truthfully, yeah, there's probably a lot of them out there that just want you to buy something, you
Right.
know. But I'm more client focused. So like if I sell a bad product, it's like that person's not going to come back.
Right.
That's just how it goes. So no, I'm totally with you
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, and it's hard to sell a passion. Like people
Yeah.
were telling me like, hey, you should keep going at this. Like this could be something. And I was like, but at the same time, I'm devoting all my energy to that, and
Yeah.
it's not the moneymaker. Like we were saying, like the priority wasn't there. Like surfing and the lawn mowing was like there. Like I'm making money right now, and then I gotta spend time making a TikTok that like I might not even sell like a product out of, or
Yeah.
like running ads on Instagram that's taking forever to do and stuff like that. So that kind of fizzled out. I got like 2 orders last week for doing
Nice.
nothing. Yeah.
That's
It
awesome.
was like a TikTok shop. Like somebody ordered like the clipper and guard.
Yeah.
So I saw like everything. I saw the cape, the clipper,
Yeah.
guard, and then like some other products
Well,
and stuff like that.
And it's so funny when that stuff comes back because like that was COVID time. I would say so in high school I did like drop shipping.
Okay.
Like I had this no joke, it was a website called Shiny Necklaces. I don't know what was going on. It
And
was
you
just like
started
my
it?
first I started
On
it.
Shopify or something?
It was a Shopify connected to I don't remember like all the softwares that I used, but at the time
Okay.
like I did that. I think the like drop shipping thing kind of was already on the exit.
Yeah.
But I started that. I like made like no sales. I started a Turo business. My car got stolen and
Really?
totaled. Like I've got, little things like that. And back when I like used to make music and it's like on Spotify, Apple Music, which like, I don't know if you want to plug it, but
Plug it.
I totally will. It's just my name, but
Okay.
you can find it on there. And I still have money coming in. I did a cover of a Lord Huron song called The Night We Met.
Okay.
It's from 13 Reasons Why, or like one of those
Some TV
shows that
show?
was, I think it was 13 Reasons Why, yeah. Yeah, and that one's got like 20 or 30,000 listens.
Dang.
And so randomly I'll check that account. It's this thing called DistroKid,
Okay.
and I'll see like $200 in there, and I'm like, I just keep it in there because I'm like, I just want to see like
Yeah.
throughout time like how high that gets. But it's funny those like old things that we used to do because you've always been entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
I'm
right.
assuming when those things like come back
Mm-hmm.
and you're just like, oh, I remember. It's like nostalgia. Like I remember when that
Yeah.
happened. You know?
Right? It's funny. Yeah, like you were saying, I was just thinking, I feel like a lot of people don't have that like we do, like where it's like
Yeah.
money scattered in like accounts where it's like 10,
Yeah.
$15. I feel like I've got like 15 that are like that's like a different thing that I tried and like
Yeah.
I got a little money from it, but it's like whatever.
Well, that's the funny thing. The scattered accounts, and then you're like, oh shoot, I kind of need that. Let me try to pull some of that.
Yeah.
Out.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's so that's one thing too about
Mhm.
like the being young and in business is the organization
Oh, totally.
is really hard. Like I don't know. I just talked to Eugene, your
Yeah.
guest from like the last podcast yesterday.
Mhm.
We were talking about forming an S corp for my real estate business, and it's
Okay.
like he's like, you got to kind of get a little organized first, and then we can take that step.
Yeah.
Which is pretty simple because of the books and stuff. It's not too hard on a real estate business, but when you have all of these things floating around, it's like, oh, I want to create an LLC for this. I want an LLC for this. It gets to be so confusing, and then you've got different internet accounts for everything. Like last year, I was doing property management. I had a property management business and a social media thing, and my whole brand, it's kind of funny, it was like Beast. I don't know why. I
Okay.
liked it. I did Beast Social and Beast
Beast.
Capital. And it's like, that's like, to me, it's like funny because it's like, it's not frat boy, but it's just like stupid
Yeah.
joke. I don't know, but it
Yeah.
kind of, actually you could probably make a cool logo out of it. You know,
Yeah,
so I'm
right,
like,
Beast.
if I kind of have this like overarching brand, it'd be kind of funny to have like Beast Social, Beast Capital, because that's totally not who I am. I'm not the guy that's like, oh, Beast, you know.
Yeah.
I say it as like a joke, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just the amount of accounts that I created for all that stuff, like the different websites, and then you're paying all these different website subscriptions. The failed ones cost you a lot of money, but they do teach you a lot.
Right. But and that's the same point. It's like you get to a point where you got all those different things and you're like, well, was it even worth it to like
Yeah.
split everything up? Like,
Right.
do I even need websites right now?
Yeah.
Because I've talked to some guests where it's like this one guy, Scott, that lives on Pewaukee Lake, and I surf with him. I do his lawnmowing. He owns like, I don't even know. It's like a crazy company. They do injection molding in China, and then they sell all their products. So they're direct like purchasers are Home Goods, TJ Maxx, and other like big box retailers. So it's like all big stuff. Yeah, it's that one right there.
Okay.
And then it should slide out. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. And so all of his people are like big box retailers, and he just like makes the stuff. This one might tighten up then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah. And so they just make it in China and then sell it here.
Yeah.
And he was saying like they have a website, but literally get like 5 visitors a month
Yeah.
because his customer base is like so little
Yeah.
that he doesn't even really need a website. He told me, he's like,
Right.
honestly, a website's just like for show for like the 2 people that need to see it. It's like, why are people going into all this work? And then
Turns out I do
Yeah,
like sitting up for this actually.
yeah. no worries. But then it turns out to be like, well, why did I do all this work? And I feel like
Right.
I've done that with businesses where it's like you want to stay organized, but at the same time it's like, well, shit, like this was a ton of work and it wasn't even worth it. But you
Yeah.
would have known that if you didn't try it.
Right. And
So-
yeah, sometimes that's not like where your clients are coming from. Like I put a really big stress on doing social media marketing,
Okay.
and like I create a lot of like content. I mean, I'm sure you've seen some of it on Instagram
Yeah.
and some of the videos I make, and I still do it a lot, but I put like almost too much focus on it in the beginning. It was almost like, and part of like being a younger real estate agent is that you have like a smoke and mirror effect. Like I would say, and there's a lot of statistics about like how well real estate agents actually do. It's like 90% of the business is done by like 10% of the agents or something like that.
Yeah, right.
Some statistic like that, because a lot of the people that get into it, it looks flashy and fun. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's sucks. It's hours of like grueling work and like building a book, cold calling, doing the stuff that people don't want to do, door knocking, being kind of annoying. Like you start to like be the guy that's like, hey, like, you just bought a house or you sell a house, you know, like you have to kind of be that guy. You have to insert yourself and you have to be like structured. But to get back to my point, when I first started doing real estate, I kind of had that like really big focus on doing the social media all the time. And that wasn't really feeding my business. Like I wasn't getting a lot of clients off of it because I wasn't being super tactical with it.
Okay.
So a lot of these like lead development and like the lead generation softwares and processes that we do, you have to be pretty tactical with it. And what I mean by that is like I have a website that I didn't really utilize that much last year. Maybe I wasn't as focused like we were talking about, but just regardless, I didn't build it up how I should have because it's expensive, you know. This year I built it up and I utilize it and I'm tactical with it. I put it on like every single post that I do, you'll find a link to the website and you'll find probably like 4 or 5 links. On top of that, it's like researching SEO. Like how can I make my backlinks? How can I like get more trusted by Google? You know, is it smart to do this? Is it smart to do that? You know, like should I make an FAQ section? This and that. Utilizing the website can be really good. Like I think this last month we had just under 2,000 views on the website, which is pretty good for a real estate website, you know. And it might be to do with one of the listings that we have is like a really cool old Victorian house right now, and you can check it out on my Instagram and the website and all that. Plug that, whatever. But it's just utilizing those lead sources the right way. Yeah. But I don't think everybody should have a website at all.
Right. Yeah. Because where do you think that you get most of your clients from? Word of mouth, would you say?
I'd say it's word of mouth. Now it's a lot of referral.
Yeah. I
just had a sign call the other day, and I'm listing his house on Tuesday.
Okay.
That doesn't happen very often. This was literally I listed something. We had an accepted offer. It was a really cute house. Guy sees my sign. He's like, I was watching the listing. I'm like, when do you want to list? He's like, ASAP. I'm like,
Dang.
you're the best, man. like, thank you. So I go visit his house, all that. So I would say most of it is that kind of like contact, but part of having the website is more lead capture. So with that really good month that I had, I think I captured like 40 leads, and then it's still up to me to reach out to them.
Right.
So they might create a search on the website or do like a contact form, but at the end of the day, it's on me. Like that's probably what I'll be doing today too, is just reaching out to those people.
Yeah.
It's all follow up.
Yeah. I think a lot of people too, when they're starting the business, like need to find out where they're getting leads. Like like you said, referrals, word of mouth is like majority of it. Because when I first started out, and even now, I feel like I put a lot of effort where it's not needed.
Yeah.
Like I'll make like TikToks and try like really hard for like surfing. Like I got no clients out of that. I didn't make any money. It just wasted a couple hours of my time.
Yeah.
And it feels good to be busy and like do that work. Like you put on your calendar, I'm gonna make this video, this video, this video, and you're like, oh, this is awesome. Like I'm gonna crank all this out and it's gonna look great. But then you get nothing out of it, and you're like, well, like I didn't get any business.
Dang, that
what?
sucked. I got a whole piece on that because like that was one of my like I always tell people because I'll schedule something like what we're doing, but I used to do it like 2 weeks in advance. Like I would fill up my calendar with meetings, like coffee meetings.
Yeah.
And so. And don't get me wrong, like I met a lot of great people. I don't totally regret it, but it took so much. It goes into what I was saying about the focus thing. Like you're almost like, and a lot of real estate agents do this because there's so many networking events and all that. You can kind of make an excuse for doing work. The real work is working inside of your business. And I'm sure this carries to like many other different types of businesses because like us realtors, you know, we have like these real estate agent networking events, and it's like great, go to those every now and then, meet some other agents so that they know who you are and they know your face and they know that you're good at what you do, so that when you're writing offers they accept your offers, etc. But don't just go to those like, and don't go to like drink, like go there to genuinely meet people and like have good conversation. If that requires a little tequila, like hey, do it, you know. But don't get smashed, like, you know, and again, it carries over into other businesses because there's other opportunities for that. But a lot of what I'm getting at here is you have to work in your business. Otherwise, when you're doing those like networking events, like you don't have anything to talk about.
Right.
Like you have to actually be doing sales. So the real money-making activities are going to be the client outreach and the lead outreach and the lead generation. It's going to be cold calling, door knocking. It's going to be, you know, creating these, once you do have some money, utilizing that money to find more lead gen, you know.
Yeah.
If it is paying Zillow and paying Realtor.com to get leads, go for it if that works for you. If you're a door knocker or a cold caller, buy the softwares that it takes, but that's what's going to make you money. I'm sure it's the same for you in like, you know, lead generation for your businesses, you know, so sitting there and making TikToks and stuff like that is cool, but are you actually getting clients?
Yeah, you don't get anything. Literally, I was probably doing a bunch last year and the year before. I feel like I've done like 1 or 2 videos, and like I honestly forget to like post on Instagram like when I'm out on a surf lesson now, and it's like I used to like prioritize that, like I need to do it, and I'm like busier than ever, like getting clients like out of nowhere just like calling me and stuff, and I feel like I've done nothing, but it's because I like set up in the past, like I got the SEO right. Yeah. I have the reputation. I know the right people, that it's just like now it's feeding in. Yeah. And it's like I'm just sitting back and everything's coming to me. It's like, well, shoot, like I'm super busy, but at the same time, I'm not doing what I did in the past where it's like reaching out, doing all this stuff to try to get more clients. It's more so like coming to me, which is nice. I'm sure you like experienced that, like that guy just calling you out of the blue. It's like, what? Yeah. Where'd you come from? Like I didn't do anything.
Well, I think too, I was so focused on like branding. Like I have my own custom signs now, and I love it. Like I actually have to order one today for his listing, but it's this company I work with. They build the sign, they install it and everything. It's great. Okay. And I have a little QR code on it. I have my face on it. I always make the joke like, hey, if you're okay with like seeing my face every time you pull in your driveway, like I'm the guy for it, you know. But you know, it's little stuff like that, and just that QR code on the sign leads to my website. Okay. And then that leads to a contact form, and then they fill that out, and then it's, what are you looking to do, buy, sell? Because a lot of people watch those to see like, how would my house do on the market right now? And I'll tell you, it's gonna do great because everything is high right now. Yeah. You know, that's just how it is. So, you know.
So you got that funnel down, kind of like go to the website, fill out the form, then you get them.
I'd say I have the funnel down, and I put like that because I think I could do even better. Like, and I think we all can do better. Um, I would say I have like that down. Like once I have a listing, I know exactly what to do. I create the really cool content for it, or what I think is really cool and kind of funny. Um, so I do that. I do like post on Facebook and all of that. Instagram. I do, the sign and all of that stuff. So I do have a process for it, but at the end of the day, the funnel it can always be better.
Right.
And that's another thing that I think we like fall into is like, I can always be doing more.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say it's like a blessing and a curse because it's like you're never satisfied. Like I'm never happy at the work that I do. It's like it could literally always be better, and it's like, but you literally just don't have the time to sometimes make it better. But at the same time, if you're not that person where it could always be better, then you're just gonna settle and not like reach for that next thing.
Yeah.
Like we're always doing. We're never satisfied, so we're just next thing. Just keep it going. Yeah.
Yeah, blessing and a curse for sure.
Right.
I mean, I think even for me, when it comes to like social media, like like before this, I was telling you, like, I've got a good side, I've got a bad side. Like I'm very, very keen to like the lighting and all of that. Like when I'm shooting something for a real estate video, something like this is more casual, but at the same time, I'm the guy who preaches like, I was going to say to you, when you're out on those surf lessons, just do something like super casual. Like if it's just in the moment, like I keep all my equipment on me, and it's just a little phone gimbal and like a stabilizer and microphones from Rode. They're like those little handheld ones, the lapel ones. And I'll just create something like, if I just closed with a buyer, I'll like take a little video. I'll be like, hey, are you guys cool with being in a video? Hey, how was the experience? And that kind of thing. So as much as I'm a perfectionist, the best thing to do is be really casual about it.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a quote. It's like, perfectionism is the enemy of progression or something like that. Because you can't move forward if you're stuck trying to make this thing perfect.
Right.
Everything is kind of just perfect how it is, right?
Yeah.
So it can't be better sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to like let it be what it is.
Totally. Yeah. And like you said, that like casual thing is really working right now. I feel like for any business, like I was looking at big people like Reef or something like company.
Yeah.
And like their stuff is so professional, but they're getting like 50 likes on Instagram.
That's the
thing. Then you see like a creator that like just takes videos of their sandals and is like, yo, these sandals are sick.
Yeah.
This shirt is sick. And it's getting like millions of hits.
That's the thing. Because at the end of the day, and I say this to realtors too, I just met with one yesterday that like the videos that these guys create are sometimes like so well produced, and they're great for like if you're working strictly in luxury.
Right.
But some of the videos that are doing a lot better are like a casual showing of the house. Like if you've ever seen, I think it's Architectural Digest or like some of these
sick
where they'll
super cinematic and like the drone pans
those
up
are really
on the
cool.
house.
Yeah, those are awesome. And like I think those are really good for those luxury houses and for the certain type of clientele. But most people like just want to work with people.
Yeah.
We're coming into a world where technology is like so immersed and like everybody's so into that. They love it, but I think at the end of the day, people like want to work with somebody they can relate to. Like that's another part of sales. Relating, like most of your sales, and the reason that it works for you on the lawn side is because you can relate to those people on the lake, because you do things on the lake. Right. You surf, you do all these things. So they're like, okay, yeah, I got like this guy is just like me. So of course I'm gonna work with him.
Right.
Like that's just how that goes. But yeah, people want to work with people. So when you're just like casual and you make mistakes in your videos and you like do stuff like that every now and then, like that's probably gonna do better than some of those super highly produced videos.
Right. Yeah, and I feel like a lot of brands are even like transitioning to that. I saw Porsche's TikTok was like making videos of like a shovel that they made or something like that.
Yeah.
Like just
just
stupid
made a bike.
stuff. Yeah.
They made a bike, and I was at the Waukesha Porsche dealership, and they had the bike. It was really cool, actually.
Yeah.
But it was like $15K. I'm
Jeez. Was it like an e-bike or just normal road bike?
I think it's an e-bike, yeah.
Okay.
But it's,
Still
it
15K.
says Porsche on it.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. Yeah.
It's like crazy, but
That's insane.
Yeah.
Have you gotten clients from videos that you've made? Like people will say, I've seen your video.
I've had a few times where like somebody will pull up. Most of the people that are seeing that is on Instagram. I think people do see it on Facebook and they share it. Like this last video I did, I had my nephew in it because it was like a house that was kind of related to like my sister, my brother-in-law. And so my nephew was there, and I had him in it, doing like some other funny stuff, intriguing stuff. It's just more personable. People share that, and then they're like, this guy's doing something so different.
Yeah.
Some people would like frown at it and say like, I don't know, that's not super professional.
Yeah.
Some people really like the button up, but I think people are a lot more casual now. Like,
oh yeah,
walk into a workplace, people have tattoos. People, like, it's just more casual now. So
yeah,
I think when people see that, they're like commenting on it, great video, you know, and people might say something like, oh, I'm selling my house next year. Like, this is awesome. And then I'll message them separate and say, hey, notice you saw my video. I saw your comment, you know, and then you start the conversation from there. So most of it is like warm leads. Like, I wouldn't say anybody's directly said like, I came to you because of your videos, but most of them will come to me because they like know somebody that was a part of that video. If it's like another family member commenting in it.
Okay.
I'm kind of tactical and sneaky with it because I'll friend them on Facebook. Like, I'm not afraid to do that because they know who I am. They saw me in the video, so it's not weird.
Right.
It's just like, it's a little sneaky though, you know. Like, it's just like getting in there, you know, to introduce myself or whatever.
Yeah. Heck
you know. But I wouldn't say any direct leads, but I'd say like it does kind of funnel into it sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And speaking of the casual thing, I feel like a lot of people that I meet, you like have to be casual with them.
Yeah.
Especially like the big entrepreneurs and CEOs that I meet.
Yeah.
It's weird. A lot of people would say like you want to be like Mr.
No.
Yes sir, like
They're
super
the most laid
formal.
back guys of all
Yeah.
time.
They want to be like if I see one on the lake, I'm just like, what's up, man? Like how's it going, dude?
Yeah.
And like they love that. And like we're all of a sudden
Because
just friends.
everybody treats them the other way.
Exactly.
I would say movies have kind of ruined that for those guys because they all look like these
They're
like
pampered,
super pampered
servants are like everything.
Yeah,
to them.
they're like, you
right.
know, that's not how it is.
They're
like,
just a person.
I learned a lot about that from being around Scott. Like, Scott was kind of the reason that I learned that. Like I said, I came from like that middle class, seeing a Range Rover for the first time, eating at really nice restaurants. Like, he even taught me like etiquette, like how to hold your silverware and stuff like that. So, you know, when you start to meet those like wealthier people, they actually really like when you like you have a calm attitude and you're a good, you know, like you're a good person to be around, but you're also just like normal with them.
Right.
They want that
Yeah.
because they're so like, can you imagine just having people talk to you like that all day?
It'd be so annoying, yeah.
It'd be cool until it wasn't, and then you're like, oh my God, like, just, you can talk to me like a friend, you know?
And I think it's different for them to be talked to like a friend, like you said. Everybody's talking to them like that. I know all my friends, if they met, say like Giannis or something, they'd like fanboy over him.
Oh my, I have a story about Giannis too.
Do you? Yeah.
Like,
All right, tell in a second. But like,
yeah.
if I met him, I'd just be like, what's up, dude? Like, it's
That's
just
how
a
you gotta
normal
be.
guy. Like, he's a normal dude.
Yeah. So I met him at Costco. No
Okay.
joke. I was at the Grafton Costco, and I think he like lives around there, or his family does or something. Not totally sure, but I was leaving my old team and transitioning to Compass, which is a brokerage.
Oh yeah.
And I was kind of like in between that at that time. But I was like, this is kind of I was walking in the Costco and some guy's like, oh, like Giannis is here. Like, I don't know if you saw him. I ended up like I was doing my shopping. I did see him. All these people, oh, hey, you know,
Yeah.
VIP, you know, all that. And then I was going to leave and I was like, this is kind of my chance. Like, maybe I should just like go say hi or say something. So I kind of, I'm walking back into Costco and I'm going around the shelves and I did run into him and it was kind of just like him and me. And I stopped him. I said, hey, Giannis. Like, I was like, hey, Giannis, like, I don't want to take a picture with you or anything. I just want to say thank you for putting Milwaukee on the map and what you've done for our city.
Yeah.
No joke. He's like, thank you so much for saying that. I can't do his Greek accent, but he's like, thank you so much for saying that. You know, like, I really appreciate that. And we ended up walking down the aisles talking to each other for like 15 minutes.
Really?
And his girlfriend, I don't know if they're girlfriend,
I'm not
wife
sure.
by now, I'm not sure, fiance. She's like, Giannis, do you want the mango strips? You know, he's like, no, not this time. You know, but we're walking 15 minutes and we get to kind of the end of the aisle and all these other people are coming up to him and VIP, you know, all this stuff. Can I get a picture? I think if you just treat them like normal, they appreciate that so much more. Like they're not any different. At the end of the day, he's just another guy that's at Costco trying to do his shopping.
Right.
He might be just another guy who's also like MVP and did all these crazy things, but at his core, he's a good dude. Like he just wants to do his thing.
Right.
And so if all these people are surrounding him all the time, like it's gotta get to a point where it's like, come on.
Totally.
But he asked me what I do. He asked me how old I was. We had some mutuals because Scott had sold him a condo in the past.
Ah.
I worked for a team called Charborg Team, and she has a big contact to Giannis. And so we had those mutuals, and he asked for my card at the end of it. Like it was one of those really cool moments. So somewhere in Giannis's junk drawer is me.
That's hilarious.
So,
and I feel like the people that fanboy and stuff, it's almost like you're putting them on a pedestal and you're saying that you're never going to get to that level.
Right.
Like
right.
I'm never going to be a basketball MVP, but at the same time,
Yeah.
like you could reach that level of success in like a different aspect of life. And if you just separate yourself and don't treat them like a normal person, you're almost saying like, well, you're an alien and I'm never going to be to that level. But like we treat them normally like we're the same person as them.
Yeah. And it's not like, I always preach like you never want to go into a room like thinking you're better than everybody. It's not that by any means. It's more just that like for me, I always want to go into a room like ready to learn something, like there's still that focus, but I also know that like at the end of the day, like I do have the ambition to be like high up, like higher power, higher learning. And like, I do want to get to that stage. And I know at one point that I will. It's going to take a lot to get there. But so that's why, like, I don't look at it as like, that's my one chance of meeting Giannis. Oh my God. Like I have to get a picture with him.
Right.
This is my one opportunity. I look at it as like, this is the first time we're talking.
Right.
I'm going to talk to him again one day and then again and then again. There's a big possibility that happens. I ran into Pat Connaughton, at Interval Coffee the other day too. And it was kind of the same situation of like, thank you so much for what you're doing. I see you're doing real estate stuff too. I ended up buying them a box of coffee. It was him and his partner. And they were like super cool about it. They were asking me like what I do. And we were just chatting like normal people, all in business. And that's not my first time I'll meet him.
Right.
I'm going to see him again. I'll see him again. And I just know that, so I don't need to get the picture right away. I don't need to do those things.
Yeah, totally. Should we close the door?
Or
is it fine?
No, it's okay.
Okay, sweet.
Cool.
Yeah. I do like blackjack on the side. We got our hands in every bucket, but
okay.
This company, my grandpa does it. We just do like parties and like events and stuff. So my grandpa works for them, and my dad does too. So it's like kind of something that we can all do together.
Yeah.
And we just do like Christmas parties or like, see like your real estate firm like had a Christmas party, like we come do like the party. Anyways, we do one for the Packers every year, so I get to see the Packers every year, which is kind of fun. But you're just in the room with the people, and it's just like normal people. But then there's so many dealers that are like, oh my God, like that's Aaron Rodgers, that's insane. Yeah, I need a signature. Like this is crazy. And I was like, it's cool, but like, it's not that crazy. It's just a room of people that are really good at what they do, but at the same time, they're dancing to like music and having a good time.
Just the same as us. It's like the idea of like, I don't know if you know the term like sonder. It's the idea that everybody's dealing with their own different things. Like you walk around the world and like a really good representation is if you see like a big apartment building and you have all these different windows. Each of those windows is a different setting of somebody's life. And so, not to sound all philosophical or anything, but it's a really cool term because like you think about it, like there's stuff that I will never tell the world. There's stuff that you will never tell the world. There's things that we just go through in our lives. So those guys have the same things. Like they're people at the end of the day. They're humans at the end of the day. So they have their trials and tribulations just as we do.
Right.
So it's kind of like you said, they're singing and dancing, like, and you'd almost look at it as like, that's like football guy. Why isn't he playing football? But they're a person. They're a human, like just like us. So we all have those things. It's like the idea of sonder.
Yeah.
I think it's cool if
cool.
It kind of takes you back one step so that you don't treat them different.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Why treat them different? Yeah. When they're just a person, just like yourself. And like you said, they don't like to be treated differently. Like they all sat down on my table, like Jordan Love, a few other people, and it was just chatting and just normal people. And they're like, what do you do? And I was like, oh, this is what I do kind of thing. They're like, oh, cool, like sick dude.
Yeah.
And then we're just like playing a game. Like it's like
Yeah.
it's not like that out there and stuff. So you worked for Compass for a little bit too?
Yeah, so I've been in a few different brokerages. The office we're in right now is the Epic office. It's spelled EPIQUE.
Okay.
So not Epic, the same as the medical company. It's
Yeah.
it's Epic Real Estate. Started in Texas. I have a lot of belief in. I have a lot of belief in this is a really cool company. I'm really enjoying it. It's pretty new to Wisconsin, but before this, when I was at EXP, and before that, I was at Compass.
Okay.
And my first brokerage ever was Remax. So I kind of like to think that I've been able to be on three luxury teams now. So Scott Campbell Group, Houseworks Collective, and the Sharborg team. And those are all kind of like, I was able to take different things that I liked and didn't like from each one. And that's how I'm going to like run my business.
Okay.
And so like I have my team, it's the Izhiman Group. And I'll plug that, of course. But, that whole thing is kind of like the baby of like what those three experiences taught me.
Yeah.
So realtors will go through those different brokerages. You don't want to jump around too much. And I've probably jumped around enough now. You kind of just want to find a place that's home. I feel like that really supports you and treats you the right way.
So as a team, is it like a team of collaborators, a bunch of different realtors, or is it like you're feeding leads to the people that are part of the team?
There's a lot of different like team setups and lead organizations. So I have one guy on my team right now. I've had other guys in the past, maybe it wasn't for them kind of thing, whatever. But they did a lot of great things. Like I wouldn't be in the position without all the people that like kind of were on the team and now are on the team, like my friend Keegan, who you might have met at the run.
Not sure.
You'll probably meet him again. Keegan Henderson. He's great. Like he's a hustler. He's cold calling like crazy. He's got a really big deal that he's working on right now that we're kind of collaborating on. But I'll supply leads, and then we have like kind of a term in the contract that's like there's different splits for like supplied leads or stuff that you're working on your own. So all of that stuff kind of comes down. I would say I'm looking to probably have a partnership with Keegan at one point because of all the hard work that he's doing. It's like I see us as, just because I've been in it longer doesn't mean that we're not equals. Like we'll get to a point where we have the same knowledge. Just because I've been in a little longer, there's probably some extra stories and stuff. But everybody's going to have a different experience. And there's things that Keegan does that's a lot better than what I do.
Yeah.
And so then we can collaborate, come together, and create something even better.
Okay.
So we're looking to, at one point, probably have a smaller team of like probably 5 or 6 rock stars, just like killers in real estate, because like training people in real estate is really hard. Like I've got Keegan, and that's more of a mentorship where I'm just teaching him the day to day. And then once he knows how to do it, he'll be training people.
Right.
That's kind of like all I ask, because my mentorship with Scott was the number one thing that taught me like everything I know and continues to teach me things. And so I just want to pass that down, and I want it to like kind of just boom, 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 like keep going down the line. And so I'd say that's kind of like the team aspect. Some teams are like really big and they're going for volume where they have 50 agents. That's just not me. I'm not a manager at the end of the day. I'm somebody who wants to work with other people who are also in the same mindset as me.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
I wonder I'm good friends with my buddy JJ Houseman.
oh, he's a killer.
Yeah, he's sick.
He's the same way. Tight knit team. I think they have like 8 or 9 people, if I'm not mistaken, and they're killers.
Yeah, and I think they just got bought out by Compass too.
They're still their own team. I think they might have been a brokerage before.
Yeah, Lake Country Luxury Listings.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. And so Compass, when they came to Wisconsin, they were buying a lot. So they bought like Keefe, which is in Lake Geneva, because we have a big stronghold in Lake Geneva, because Compass has a big stronghold in Chicago, and Chicago people love Lake Geneva. Yeah. So they bought out Keefe, and then they bought some other ones, around the area. And I mean, Compass was great too. Like, don't get me wrong. It's a different setup. Yeah. So that's where, like I said, you kind of find what works for you. I've met JJ probably once, I think. I met him at a Lake Country magazine. He might not even remember, but that was a really cool little networking party. Things like that are really cool to go to.
Yeah, heck yeah.
But like I said before, don't go to too many. Just
yeah.
Pick and choose. But JJ was really awesome to me. Like he's a killer and tight knit team. Yeah. So
JJ's
I would say I want to be there. You know?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
he's sick. I'm taking his daughter out surfing at 1 o'clock
nice,
for a
nice,
lesson. Yeah,
nice.
and then his son next Monday too. And then
Okay.
I was out with him last Saturday.
Yeah.
I see him a lot. He's one of my long clients too.
Okay.
So he lives on Pewaukee.
Yeah.
We surf together. Then I started cutting his lawn. I cut his parents' lawn, and then he gives me leads too because
That's
he'll
awesome.
sell a house and be like, "Hey, here's the lawnmower,"
Yeah.
which is sick. Yeah, he's the man, which is super cool.
Yeah.
What's kind of interesting story that you have like selling or buying a house for somebody?
Yeah. I think like a interesting story.
Unique.
Unique story. So I've been through like a lot of really crazy like trashy houses before. I had a story from one of the guys that was working for me. He went into a house for another agent. He was just showing it. And this isn't my own story, but
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to think of one. But regardless, he was in this house and the tenants, I'm talking this like rough. The tenants had a fire going, like a fire pit in the middle of the living room.
What?
And then they started fighting each other during the showing. Like arguing and fighting
Yeah.
each other. I personally have been through like hoarder houses. Oh, here's kind of one. I've got a deal I'm doing right now. Actually, it's a redevelopment. It's this old auto shop. It was a machine shop before it was an auto shop. So you can imagine what comes with that. But the clients, we cold called them because I was initially working with the buyer. Buyer's looking for like a commercial property. And we cold called these guys and they're like, yeah, we would sell. Two older guys. They're like super funny. But I guess like the crazy part about it is like this place was filled to the brim with like trash and all of this stuff. They're cleaning it out pretty good. This is the longest transaction I've been in since November of last year. And we still haven't closed.
Oh, really?
So some of these deals, like it's a commercial deal. So there's a little bit more that goes into it. There's like EPA testing and some more like government stuff to like if it's human health, if it affects anything like that. Depending on what the zoning is and what the business is going to be. But I'd say that's probably like one of the crazier ones. I mean, there's definitely been like one-off crazy offers and different like crazy stories within. But I wouldn't say I've had anything too crazy, luckily. I've definitely heard the opposite from other agents where like there's some crazy people out there for sure.
So are the buyers fine with that? It's been over a year.
Yeah. So usually
They're not in a rush to get their business going.
they're not in a rush. They already have their business going. They have a location.
They just want to expand.
But they want to expand. These guys have actually been really great to work with. I mean, like I was representing them first. I pushed them to somebody else because I was going to represent the seller here. And so we're kind of back and forth. There's a lot of lawyering and there's a lot of this and that. Right now we're working on getting grants and stuff like that to clean up that site.
Oh.
And that's kind of what's taking longer.
Okay.
And so that's a phone call I actually have to make today. But yeah, that stuff, commercial can go a lot longer. I guess the average residential transaction is 30 to 45 days. Commercial can either go like that if it's cash, or it can go that. You know? So it's just it's dependent on the contracts and what people agree to. It's all binding, and so that's why they kind of have to be okay with where we're at.
Right. Totally. Do you write up those contracts, or does somebody legally write up those contracts too?
So those contracts they're pre-written. It's a Wisconsin like legal counsel that does them for real estate. And then over here we get to send them out to people to sign and all of that. Over in Illinois, for example, it's an attorney state.
Okay.
So they actually have an attorney. They have a buyer agent and a seller agent, but every contract has to go through an attorney. So it's a little different than over here. We get like full control.
Okay.
So
So that'd be another fee probably in Illinois then, the attorney fee.
Yeah, attorney fee. I mean, they bill by the hour. I'm sure it's a little bit different for like real estate.
Yeah.
Because it's not as much work. But the agent themselves, like sometimes they'll draft the agreement. And then anything like amendments or anything like that has to go through an attorney, and the attorney drafts that up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
So, but the reason is because over here we have something called title. And there's like some very prominent title companies here, like Knightberry and Frontier Title, and Alltech is another one. But over in Illinois, all of the lawyers own those title companies. And so they're the ones that mandate that it has to go through their firms. So over here, the title company is totally separate. And one of the concepts that newer agents don't understand, and I didn't understand for the longest time, was what is title. So title is like searching the back end of a property. So you're checking if there's liens, you're checking if there's any kind of like insurance claims or anything like that in the background, any kind of zoning changes, all of that stuff. And that's what essentially dictates like they do a title search and they figure out everything about the property. And that's why transactions take 30 to 45 days.
Right, yeah. So some research on the back end.
Yeah.
It's like a background check of a person.
It's making sure you're not buying something that's got a ton of taxes owed on it and all these issues that you're going to have to deal with, basically.
Yeah, because then, you'd probably accrue them and start paying some money, which is...
Yeah. So.
Heck yeah. All right, well, we've probably been rambling for a little bit here. I have no idea how long, but it's been super fun. So let's wrap it up with, I keep knocking signs over behind me.
It's okay.
We'll wrap it up with, I'll come up with 5 questions off the top of my head, and then you can just answer them quick. So favorite restaurant in the area?
Favorite restaurant? That's so hard because I'm a big foodie. I just tried room service in Bayview the other day. That was really good. I would say I'm Palestinian food at heart. Pita Palace on Layton is phenomenal. Same with Al Youssef. They're kind of owned by the same guys. And if you're closer downtown on Brady Street, they have a restaurant too. It's that one that used to be the mac and cheese place.
Okay.
It's pretty authentic. It's not the same as going overseas, but incredible food if you like shawarma and gyros and stuff like that.
Oh, sick. Favorite thing to do in the summer?
Favorite thing to do in the summer? I'm a walker, man. I throw on these my AirPods and I did it this morning. I literally just go on walks.
Okay.
I'd say I could walk I lived on Commerce for a while. I think my record is I've walked from Commerce Street all the way to the 3rd Ward and then all the way to North Ave and then back.
Jeez.
I freaking love walking because I just zone out with music. I'll text people, maybe watch some TikTok, stop at a coffee shop.
Okay.
It's like a hot girl walk or a hot boy walk, I guess,
Are you into running too?
I'm getting into it just because of Run Club, and I've wanted to be into it. I've been into it in the past, but, I am a big jump roper actually. So I actually jump rope a lot. That's my preferred cardio. Or going to the gym and just getting on a treadmill. What is it? What's the formula? 15 incline 3-speed. That's my cardio choice, but I do really like running.
Okay.
I like the culture around it. It's kind of the fun part.
Yeah, it is super fun. What's the highest ticket house you've sold?
Highest ticket house? I'm right around 700K. I just sold this one a few months back, and I actually sold 2 right next to each other that were in that 600 to 650 range. I sold those 2 back to back, and they were right next to each other in a subdivision. And then I sold this one for 700 in Racine. So that was a really cool deal. Did a cool video on that. You can find it on the Instagram. But obviously the big goal is I want to sell $1 million homes. Who doesn't?
Yeah, heck yeah.
So
dream car.
I'm a Porsche guy.
Okay.
I love Porsches. I would say probably, and not even a GT3 RS, honestly a Targa GTS.
Ooh, yeah.
I have a buddy of mine that you should definitely hit up for a podcast, but he just bought a Targa GTS.
Really?
Really cool guy too. He's a big marketing guy, SEO, e-commerce.
Yeah.
Cool guy for you to talk to.
Those look so sick because it's convertible, but it's not the look of it.
It grew on me. I sick. Used to love the Cabriolet a lot better. The first Porsche I ever drove was Scott's. It was 2008. Navy blue, tan interior. He woke me up one morning at 8 in the morning, and I was 18. He's or 19. He's like, I just need you to take my car from Cedarburg to 3rd Ward. I'm like, all right, man. So, and that car was so fun. It was probably the first car that really had me whoa. I really want a convertible because I've always had convertibles before my car now.
Okay.
Cars are a big thing to me. And so probably a Porsche 911, Targa, 4S or a GTS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sick. Heck yeah. All right, last question. Advice for young people, entrepreneurs, people just getting started.
I know we wanted to talk about this more and didn't get into it too much. Maybe we'll have to do a round 2 or something like that,
Heck
group podcast. But man, I think the hardest thing is that focus thing that we touched on. I think that's really big. But obviously the hardest thing for a lot of people is like, what do I want to do? And we talked about this a little bit before the podcast, but the hardest thing is figuring out what you want to do. Like going to college, you're going to spend a lot of money on especially if you don't know what you want, but try a lot of things early.
Yeah.
Like that's why I dipped into e-commerce early and did the Turo thing early. And like I got all these ideas from other people. I made a piece of content about it. It was like principles of being a real estate agent. And the number one thing I said was never give up on learning. Like, you got to walk in a room like ready to learn anything from everybody because everybody has a different perspective. Just don't walk in thinking you know everything because you don't. And so, yeah, just soak up as much as you can and try all those different ideas that you have. Try an auto detailing.
Yeah.
Try landscaping is like a big one for younger guys to try.
Totally.
Do all these different things, incorporate your passions, and then figure out what you really, really like and what's going to make you money, and then run with that.
Yeah, just run with it and just keep it going.
Yeah, fail.
Keep the ball rolling.
Fail so much. And then it's like the age-old like cliche thing, but you have to fail to succeed. It's just how it works.
Yeah.
And so do it as much as you can.
Heck yeah. Super fun, dude.
Awesome, yeah.
So sick.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
That was